Welcome to the official AFL Fantasy podcast with the Traders.
G'day with the Traders. Thanks to Sportsbet, I'm Roy. I coach Destroy, and I'm here with Warnie.
Coach of the Warne Dawgs.
And Calvin.
Coach of Calvinator. Can you smell that?
Oh, it could be a number of things after the weekend, we've had, to be honest.
Well, no, go past Calvinator and what he smells like. You need to do something about that personal hygiene.
What? I was going to say that until I thought about my antics.
Yes. Oh, you were bad.
Yesterday.
No, it is the smell of footy being back.
Oh, right, that's where you were going.
On.
Right.
We are on. It's actually
Pete?
24 days into our first lockout in fantasy.
Holy hat.
Yeah, get going.
Yeah, it's
got to be turned up a notch.
It is turned up a notch because we did see our first match sim on the weekend. That was on Sunday. And that was the Melbourne and Richmond game. We'll chat about that in a sec. But we've got quite a few of those coming up over this week and then getting into the community series games, which feel a little bit more real. Now, how real this is, you might hear it in the background of us at the moment. They're actually cleaning up Utah Stadium.
They are.
The cricket pitch is out. They've taken down all the little sight screen stuff and they've got the Karcher out right in front of our bloody
This is
studio.
a powerful Karcher, isn't it?
It's a great Karcher.
Maybe
Industrial
blow us out of the office.
maybe Calvin, you could go and stand in front of that. That might fix that.
Spray me down, big fella.
Anyway, let's have a look at what we saw on the weekend with that match sim. And it was Melbourne and Richmond. We were laying hungover in a hotel room, Roy, and we watched the first part of it.
Tried to.
I
was very sleepy.
I tell you what's hard about it, these match sim ones, the camera angle's too low. Yeah. For me.
Yes, okay.
Like, I feel like they need to be a bit higher, and then I'll understand it more.
Yeah, okay, fair.
Or maybe I still wasn't seeing through my eyes properly.
I didn't even know.
Do you know who was commentating that game?
Schofield.
No, that was on the Saturday. We watched that one. We'll talk about that
That's
one.
where I'm at.
Michael Barlow.
Oh, yes.
Sam Macrae.
I should have known that.
If he did not mention his name less than 50 times, I'd be surprised.
It was extraordinary because I just ended up, I retreated back to the bed and I was listening to it. And all I heard, I thought Schofield must have been playing. I mean, not Schofield, far out. I mean, not before me. Michael Barlow.
Yeah.
Damn. I thought he must be playing and racking up because that's all I
I thought
heard.
you woke up in 2011.
Yeah, I did because that's all I heard. Michael Barlow. No, unbelievable sense. Anyway, who played again?
Yeah, look, Melbourne and Richmond. So we had a bit of a look at it, and we got what we can. And these are hard because this was a 7-period game.
Okay, your biggest issue with the game was the camera angle. Mine was 7 quarters, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
People, I don't know players' names the best of times, right? But getting into the 7th quarter,
Yeah.
if you can have a 7th quarter, but the 7th quarter, it's, I don't want to use the word pointless,
Yeah.
but
There were plenty of points scored.
That was my favourite quarter. Oscar Van Dam was out there.
yes, right.
One of
That
your boys.
pricked my ears up.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he's one of my boys.
You can't pick
we
him,
might
though,
get
in
him in
fantasy.
a year or
This
two, I
year.
reckon.
But they were both teams were missing a few, and I think Richmond missing a lot because you could look at those CBAs and look at who was in the midfield. But for Richmond, they were missing Prestia, Dusty, Liam Baker, who's apparently playing
Bakes,
in
I
the
wanted
guts
to
as
watch
well.
Bakes.
Tim Taranto. So really their only main dude in there was Hopper, and he'll be in there. But you got more time from Shea Bolton, who they've already said is going to play more forward this year.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So
where we spoke at the start about turning it up a notch, it's only a slight turn of the dial.
well, it's real because
people
define real footy. It's footy.
It was a real match
against someone else.
Yeah.
So it's not just now they're not playing against the other 4 midfielders.
So
It's
this
just those
opened up.
other 4 midfielders are playing instead of the real 4 midfielders.
It was helpful for that.
This opened up a spot for Thomson Dow to get some CBA.
Yeah.
So he was a bit of a hot name across Twitter because he had the equal most alongside Hopper with 24.
I know.
he was good
someone had
too.
to be in
He
there,
was.
though. Like Prestia, Baker, Dusty,
I know.
Trento. They are the 4 bananas.
They are 4 big bananas.
They are.
Yep.
So I wouldn't get too excited about that.
Yeah, we saw probably the one that I was really looking for was Caleb Windsor, played on the wing and played there pretty much most of the time, and he looked all right. Like he was linking up in some play, so I think he'll play in round 1.
Someone took his stats.
Did they?
22 touches, 3 marks, and 80 points. But I don't know how many quarters he played, Roy. I don't know how many. So
I don't know what statistician it was either.
No, but no. Before I fell back to sleep, he looked really good.
Yeah, he was
just
there,
comfortable.
Looked a bit better than Billings. Billings just was way outside from what I saw.
2 CBAs for Billings.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Didn't
not
it
sure
start?
what quarter. Not sure what quarter.
Maybe didn't play very long. Gibcus is another one that could
Yeah.
be worth watching. We'll talk. This is a bit of a rookie episode. We'll be talking about that coming up. But he was out there and got through, so that's a positive.
Yeah. Big tick.
Have they finished cleaning out there?
They have. They're
about to fire up again, I reckon.
I'm coming out, Kevin.
A couple of other rookies. That's Steely Green. He played up in the forward line. That McAuliffe is another one that we'll sort of watch. And Kane McAuliffe, he draftee, 200k is midfielder, and just the big thing about him, I think he didn't really come on until late.
Yeah.
So that was an issue.
And that's the thing.
When
If
we
you're the later you're coming on
Yeah.
in a 7-quarter game, the worse.
Well, speaking of coming on late, though,
unless
that was
you're
Clayton
Clayton
Oliver.
Oliver.
Yes.
And then they talked up how much he dominated, how good he was. Kicked a couple of great goals.
Yeah.
Mate, you play in the seventh quarter
Saw
against
that
that.
come.
But he was there. That's
Yeah.
a massive positive.
Yeah.
Will he play round one?
Yes, he will. Yes, he will. He will
you
play.
think that's really
Yes.
tracking towards that?
Yes, I think he plays.
Oh, do you?
Yep, I do.
I don't.
Don't you?
No.
He's still got 24 days.
Oh,
Or
I think
less.
he's good enough to.
Yes.
Oh, well, less for him.
Yeah,
'Cause
I think-
they've got opening round.
I still think he plays.
Okay.
So, there you
Right.
go.
There you go.
Anyway, I don't know what else we can get out of that. We'll be talking some match sim probably next week when we see the other 8 games.
Yeah.
They're all coming up and see what we can take out of them. Obviously, look at who's playing and who's not playing. That's important. It's nice to get some eyes on players.
It's an eye test, Roy.
Well, how much did Marty Hore play?
So he was on late too,
Oh,
Yeah, that's
from
a
what I
concern.
gathered.
he's
from
no
that.
Clayton Oliver either,
No.
So I don't know. So he's crossed off my list.
based on that.
I think he has been for a little bit now. I feel like, it was a nice pick there to put in
Oh.
at D6 at the start of the year.
And you got to have something in the footy record. Right?
That's right.
he'll play through the year, though.
When you're
I think
filing
he'll-
that in
yeah.
early January.
He'll pop his head in at some point.
I think so.
But I think we need to make plans for a different D6.
Right. We're calling him a depth player then,
Yes,
aren't we?
he's depth.
He's a depth
He's
player
still at
for me.
training.
Yeah.
He can still train with the team, but yeah.
Yep, fair enough too.
Anyway, plenty of great stuff. You can check out afl.com.au for a nice article there. Sarah Black did put some good notes together that people will be able to see from that. The other match sims, yes, so they do happen all through this week. You can watch them on Fox Footy and also KO too, so you can watch those. Next one is Wednesday at 10 a.m. Not teaching then. North Melbourne and Collingwood might have to have that on in the office.
Yeah, chuck it on the big screen.
As we're going. On Thursday, we've got 3 games there. A lot of them are during the day. Brisbane and Gold Coast are in the evening, so we'll definitely be able to catch that one. I'm sure we'll be able to catch the replays as well. There's plenty of track watchers. Plenty of people are on social tweeting information.
Which is handy.
And 3 games on Friday as well. So, including Port Adelaide and Adelaide, which will actually be quite an important match on that one.
a bit going on.
To be watched. And, West Coast and Freo play on Saturday night. So, a few there. Check
I've
out
got-
all those dates on afl.com.au.
I've got the biggest burning question of the morning.
Oh, what's that?
Warnie, it's been years since I've seen you turn up as a surfy dude. Look at him. Billabong top.
He is a Billabong top.
Cool, man.
Hang 10, bro.
At least it's clean and doesn't smell.
There is that. I just haven't. This is a throwback.
Yeah, it's a catch a barrel, dog.
Cool, man.
Hang 10, bro.
All right. Guess what? I think this is the first time we cracked this out.
Here's the news of the week you need to know on the official AFL Fantasy podcast.
Because there is some news.
I've missed that sound.
So
Yeah.
have I.
There is some news.
What have you got for
We
me?
got a little bit out there. Right. Damian Hardwick. His name dropping something he shouldn't have been. But he did say to get him in your team and you will want him there because they said we will feed him.
Sam Flanders, you're talking
Oh,
about.
who did I say?
Yeah. No, you just didn't say his name.
No, he was just building this.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, Sam Flanders.
So-
Yeah, sorry.
Look, he will be
travelling well.
He will be our F1.
Oh, he will be the F1.
Yes.
Yes, 100% he will. For sure.
Yeah.
Don't tread on my toes there, mate.
No, I know. Sorry about that.
I'll be the judge.
So
you are
that-
correct, though.
So that's one.
You're on.
Obviously, we get to have a look at him in opening round. What score would he need for you to start him?
Dear. Here we
This
go.
is the problem.
Because they've got the round 3 bye.
So what? We get 2 weeks out of him. If he's going to be significantly better than anyone else, like we think he's actually going to be, what score? Does a 110 do it? It's 20 over what he's priced at.
Yeah.
that would be pretty handy.
Is it even a bigger picture of going, do you think he's going to average over 100 and the next best forward might only be 90 and therefore, geez, you probably need to start him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's that versus get him in straight after his bye.
Yeah.
Which you could...
Can you make plans to do that, though,
Well,
as well?
you can pencil in the plans. Obviously, injuries and stuff derail plans, and then he keeps getting more and more expensive and you end up not getting him into
Yep.
You have to pay up for it. But, I don't know. Can you start with him?
So I'm looking at it here.
I think he's going to be very good.
He's got Richmond in that opening round, and then he goes Adelaide and Bulldogs, who are deemed as a couple of tough teams on the scale.
Mm-hmm.
After that, in his next 6 after that, he plays across like your West Coast, your North Melbournes.
You have to have him by then.
So I think you need him by that bye round. The thing is, though, he shares a bye with GWS. So who from the Giants do we really have?
Well, I'd love to be starting Tom Green, but he's too expensive.
Yep.
And then it's probably just DJ, maybe.
Yeah.
So he could be covered.
He could easily be covered. Easily be covered.
Best 18. It's good.
That's great.
So what, are you guys going to consider it? Because the only thing we've said from a negative perspective about Flanders all year so far this preseason is that what role is he going to play under Dimmer? And for some reason, Stewie Dew didn't rate him at all.
Yeah.
He was a hater.
Dimmer could come in and go, well, I know what Dew was talking about. That is one annoying dude.
Yep.
He's out for me
Yep.
as well. But he's actually said the exact opposite. So basically, when he started becoming interested in taking the Gold Coast job and started paying more attention to them, he was looking at Flanders going, well, where has he been? He is just an unbelievable talent.
So I think we'll all be dictated by that opening round score.
Yeah.
We may have to go.
Well, what? Maybe can I?
I think it's
can
more
I
than the
interest you
score
in
now,
this?
though.
Yeah, so do I. Roll.
Yeah.
What if roll is
The
just
roll's there.
prime and his scores just average? You know he's going to start turning that roll into massive scores, even if he's not huge.
If he's
round
in
one.
the 3 bananas with
50+%
CBAs...
See, I don't think he's going. I think he's fourth banana.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's essential for him.
No.
Because
it's not. Those numbers were great without needing big CBAs.
They were. And
in
he
there.
even worded up that he likes those 3 in the middle when they're all fit and ready to be in there, and then he just comes up.
Yeah, so it was in that last part of the year that he was getting around about that 45 to 50% CBAs.
Yeah, but the last two games of the season, he would have averaged about 12%.
Yeah.
And he had a 140 and a 120.
There you go.
So what does he average for the year then? I think he's a
he's
really
over
good
100.
player. I think he's 105.
Yeah, minimum.
Wow, that's big.
I know, and that's what I think it is.
Minimum. Did you not see what this dude can do?
He could go to 110, dog.
He has.
The Uber elite.
He did. He did go at 110, Roy. He went more.
Well, then you should be picking him in the first round of draft.
I'll do that.
Oh, no.
He's got such a high ceiling as well, though. Like he can do a 150 for you. I think he's in the mix to start,
Agree.
and he would be my exception to the rule
Because
where I'm actually paying a little bit.
Because of the forward line.
but
But
then
I
are we
still think
saying that
he's
he's
so
underpriced?
underpriced. Well, he's heavily
under 90.
underpriced. He's heavily underpriced.
Right, other news we saw on Saturday. That's where you heard Will Schofield, and that's why it's in your brain, because you hung over on Saturday as well, and we were watching the
It's all a
the
blur
West
to me.
Coast.
I apologise. Yep.
West Coast intra-club, and we saw, ticking boxes. Ticking boxes.
Yeah.
What Clay Hall's box? he
Well,
didn't
no.
tick.
Well, that's probably the biggest news out of this. So Clay Hall, the 200k midfielder, we thought he'd be, and
He was in the
would have
mix.
been a real good chance to
think so.
make a debut. Hurt his ankle. Looked worse than that though. The ankle's probably still a bad one and all that, for as far as we know at the moment. But they thought it could have been knee, yada yada, lower leg. That's
Do you know why all the confusion?
why.
Because Yowie was down there, right? And he was diagnosing it.
Right.
And he was all over it. He was going, what? Because he knows
I've done
knows
this
what an
before.
injury is, right? And he was like, where does it hurt, mate? Oh, it's me leg. Ah, that's a knee. That's a knee. He's gone.
Right where you crunched me,
Now,
Yowie. That's
because
where it's
Yowie
hurting.
did it to him, didn't he?
Yeah. But do you know what? Like, I feel sorry for Hall because
Yeah.
I'm a fan of his, and he's actually in my team at the moment. But I liked the intent of Yo out there.
Oh, Yo is a lock.
He was not out there tiptoeing around protecting his body. He's looking good, really good.
As long as Yo remains fit. And this is the
Okay.
thing, he's been fit for a long time.
I know. So,
Played out the end of the year.
Law of averages, dog.
He started training early.
but there's no way if he hits round 1 uninterrupted from here, no soft tissue stuff, he can not be on anyone's never again list. He has to come back off for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does he come off your never again list?
How many days
Don't
have we
you
got?
have him yet?
How many days we got left?
He's got 24 days to get
Right,
through.
there's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Remember last year?
Yes.
Right.
But he wasn't humming like this.
Oh.
This time he's humming.
It was a calf, wasn't it? Started last year.
Oh.
Those soft tissues.
There's still
Those
time,
things
boys.
can go at any
over
time.
30.
There's still time.
Anyway, yeah, and then I think Harley Reid too. Like, that's just still a no-brainer.
Oh, my God.
A fair bit of midfield time.
Yes.
So that half-back time, I think, still there a little bit, but is more.
Yeah.
That's what he is.
Yeah.
think they changed the decision.
He was good at pushing back behind the ball.
During last week as well, old mate Blank Cow.
Yep. Insert name here.
Blank ACL. Don't laugh because he did an ACL.
I'm not laughing at
That's
that.
not funny.
So that's it. But it gave you a little bit of a trigger warning.
Yeah, for the dog, the sick dog.
Yeah.
So he played in 8 games last year without Blanky,
Yeah.
and he was a 24-point worst player, sick dog.
That's a lot.
That's significant.
It's because
Hey.
he actually has to do something.
Yeah.
And he doesn't just get to stand in the corners and bark for the marks.
No.
So it's a concern for sick dog.
Yeah.
They signed a new dude, though, out of the VFL, didn't they?
I think so.
Key sort of guy. So.
But can he come straight
Yeah,
in?
don't
I
know.
don't think so. There's a few more marks there for Carl.
It changes
now.
things, though.
Yeah. Carl.
Changes things.
Carl.
Yeah?
He
That'll
might.
be a big pracky match watch, which actually does suck in these. Did you know they play Bulldogs in both games?
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Extraordinary decision.
Don't know
Bulldogs
why.
give up heaps to defenders, right?
Oh, yeah. You're going to get tricked.
Well, yes, that could happen.
Carl.
Amon will smoke that
He
game.
will, he will.
He will, yeah.
Couple of
Out of that-
150s.
Yeah.
To Dylan Moore missed because he's got glandular fever, and so they
Yeah.
think that's about a month away. So
Yeah.
this affects your draft because I don't think anyone was realistically thinking about him in Classic, but
No.
it's a big risk because he might be back in that month, but he could be struggling.
Yeah,
It's
well,
debilitating.
yeah, and especially with the forward line so thin, his last month he averaged over 100. So he was right up there as one of the best. He's sitting in the role in 22 as well.
Now, we are looking and having a bit of a focus on the cash cows, and it's probably a bit of a watch of what we're going to do, and we thought we'd go to one of the best, which we think will be this year.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Top two, anyway.
100% top two.
And we thought we'd have a chat to Ryley Sanders. So he's an ex-Tassie boy. Oh, he still is a Tassie
He's a
boy.
Tassie boy.
And he has gone to the Western Bulldogs, and he joined us for a chat. Now today, boys, we are lucky to be joined by Ryley Sanders, one of our boys, one of our Tassie boys, who went up nice and high in the draft, and he's ended up at the Bulldogs, and we are ready to lock him in our fantasy teams. Ryley, thanks for joining us, mate.
No worries. Good to be on.
No, well, you are a legend in our eyes because, well, you're going to be one of our good little cash cows that we like. And you've played a bit of fantasy in the past before, so you know how important the cash cows are. So tell us about your fantasy history. You've played a little bit before?
Yeah, no, I used to love it. Probably spent a bit too much time on it in class and that when I was at St. Pat's in year 7, 8 and 9. So, no, but it's good. I always loved it. Me and my mates got around it and always enjoyed kind of the aspect of picking your team and doing your trades and stuff. But yeah, the cash cows are definitely important to generate the money. Yeah.
Well, mate, we've been tracking your progress since your junior days. We've always been a fan. That's why we don't hold back in claiming you as one of our boys. I hope you're okay with that. Now, in the Coates Talent League, you were averaging like 32 touches, 106 points. Your full piggish tendencies were on display. What does it feel like the whole fantasy community all over you at the moment?
No, yeah, it's definitely pretty cool because as I was saying before, I was a massive into fantasy. Like it was kind of like my everything for a while there. So I'd spend all my free time on it and making sure I was doing the right trades and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty cool to see that I'm in, a fair few teams doing the stuff. It's great.
So last year we had one of your mates actually dominate the fantasy scene, and that's Harry Sheezel. So you spent a bit of time playing with him. You're going to learn a little bit off him about what it's like for being a first-year player?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, we're really close. So I talk to him quite regularly. So it's always good to bounce ideas off him and, just ask for advice on how he cope with different things and stuff. So, having him's been great, yeah.
Now, Riley, you've only just met Bevo, but we've known Bevo many years, and fantasy coaches are. We know what Bevo's like, but get straight to it. Now, where do you see yourself fitting in the Bulldogs team?
Yeah, I'm still not completely sure. Probably get a bit more of an idea in the next couple of weeks if I play in the practice games, but been trained a lot in that kind of mid-forward role. We kind of rotate a bit, but happy to kind of play anywhere, regardless if it's wing or wherever. But I think, at the moment, probably mid-forward, because that's where I've been training mostly,
Yeah, now you might be training mid-forward, but don't be surprised if you end up in the ruck or down fullback, mate. You just never know these days.
Hey, Riley had nowhere to rack up points. Or how to rack up points anywhere anyway. Who's been a real head-turner on the track, mate? Like, where should we be looking from a fantasy perspective at the kennel?
Just as usual. It's like, it's been unreal. He's been absolutely dominating. I think Adam Trelaw's one that haven't really checked the prices too much or anything, but I reckon he'd be a good pod for a few teams. He's been trained unbelievable. He's just so powerful out of the contest. He kicks goals. A lot of the stars, Tim English has been going really well. I think Big Sam Darcy's primed for a breakout year. So, so there's a lot of boys going well, but just the usual liver as well. Got some really good A-grade talent at the Doggies, which is nice.
Now, we talk about the midfield mix a fair bit in fantasy and the blokes that could be in the guts. My little mate Caleb Daniel, we keep hearing all about him training in the midfield. Is he getting a bit of a run in there with you?
Yeah, so he's been doing all his stuff in the midfield, mid-forward. So, but as they're big at the club, they're both well about being able to play in different positions. So I guess the great thing about Caleb is he's just as good down back because he's such a good ball user. So, he's been training in the midfield and stuff, but I'm sure if he needs to go down back or go up forward, he'll be right, yeah.
The first time you saw him without his helmet, was it quite confronting?
No, I've kind of got, maybe a little bit at the start, but I've gotten used to it. He only plays in the helmet, so he hasn't worn the helmet all pre-season. Right. So I've kind of gotten used to seeing him. He's rocking the headband at the moment, so it'll be a bit different, I reckon, once I see him when he starts playing in his helmet, but it'll be pretty cool.
So we need to lead a bit of a charge in fantasy because you've got your headshots in the game. Yeah. And I think we need to have him with his lid on because no one recognises who he is.
That's it.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Chuck that thing on. Now, probably apart from yourself and the Bont, the most spoken about dog this year has been none other than Zac Macrae, who has been obviously, as you would know, when you were at high school, you would have had him locked in your midfield, racking up hundreds for you. But last year we saw him pushed out of the CBAs. He only attended 30% for the year. Played a lot on the half-forward flank and things like that. What role are you projecting for him this season?
Yeah, I'm not too sure because, in all our kind of matches in the last few weeks, he's been out with his hamstring, so I haven't fully seen what role he'll play, but he's still doing all his training with the midfield. But I guess because we've got a lot of midfielders too, some of us might have to play on the wing or forward or whatever, and we do a fair bit of rotating. So, I'm not too sure.
Can you guys just ease up on Riley a bit with these hard-hitting questions, right? He doesn't know. He's only been at the club a few weeks. Well, I'll give him an easy one, right? And I want to talk about Nick Coffield. Okay, so he's very cheap in defence, obviously the former Saint. How's he travelling?
Yeah, really well. No, he's going very well. He's a big boy, strong. So, I can lock him in, I reckon.
Yeah, good. I'm not for beating around the bush. Is he going to play round one?
I think so. Yeah.
Well done. Yes.
Yeah, I think he's been in our kind of starting backline in the match sim and that, so I think he's a good chance, yeah.
There's a big trend at the moment, as you would have seen, and especially talking to the Shees, that half-back role can be very fruitful. So we saw almost Nick Dacos create it, and now other teams are sort of heading that way. Who has been your main distributor out of that
backline over the match sim?
Yeah, we've obviously got two elite half-backs in Ed Richards and Bailey Dale, so they're kind of and Jason Johannesson as well. So we're very lucky to have, three really quick elite kicks out of the half-back line. So they're kind of playing that high half-back, and they're really trying to get the ball into their hands as much as possible to drive us forward, yeah.
Now, this is our bit of a rookie or cash cow episode here of the podcast. And you were at the coalface, seeing plenty there in the Coates Talent League and then also in the championships. Who are some players that we should be looking at that are good at racking up the pill? Who would you, when you're playing fantasy this year and you're locking some players in your side, or if you were playing a keeper league, for example, and going, these guys are going to be good either now or into the future, who would be a couple of players that you like?
I think Colby's obviously the main one. Like, he's got, really good junior numbers and stuff. He looks like he's going to have a good role at North Melbourne in a young team. So he's probably the main one. And then who else is there? Obviously Harley. I reckon he'll be, especially if he plays half-back. I could see him playing that similar role to what Sheezel and stuff have played, where he's real offensive and stuff. So he'd be another one. Who else is there? A lot of the other. I think Windsor's going pretty well for Melbourne on the wing.
Yeah, he could have a chance. Good need to play round one.
Yeah, and then you've obviously got Jed Walter and Dursberg and Watson, and that will probably play more forward. They're probably not going to score quite as well, probably. But I think
in the middle. You do.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Sense a little bit of a time. Are you a little bit jealous that Colby and Harley are coming off the half-back there, mate?
No, I love it. Love it in the midfield.
Yeah. Good to hear. One thing I do want to ask while I've got you, mate, James Harms, you have actually had a bit of a look across the teams this year or the fantasy page, you would have noticed that forwards are very thin. Now, James Harms, he's come across, obviously, seeking more opportunity than sitting in a vest every week. What do you see out of Harmsy moving forward?
It's been, going well too. Kicked a few goals in our intraclub the other week, which is good. As I was saying before with Jacko Macrae, I'm not too sure because we've obviously got a lot of midfielders, so it'll be interesting to see what the coaches decide to do, whether they rotate us all through there or some of us have to play on the wing or whatever, or forward, or I'm not too sure, but it'll be interesting to see how and if they want to fit us all in, Yeah,
because I didn't know whether to be happy or sad about Harmsy because I heard that he played well and I thought, I'm on. He is getting that midfield clock. And then I saw he kick 4 goals and I was like, that's devastating. I think he's going to stay forward. So, so he'll do a bit of hitting up through there, you would be guessing?
Yeah. I'm not too sure. Obviously, we've got our first proper practice game against Hawthorn this week, so I guess the roles and stuff will kind of be more confirmed in that game,
Yeah. And a tip from us, Ryley, if they do put you forward, just don't kick goals, mate.
Yeah.
Ryley, you're a legend. Thanks so much for joining us, mate, and good luck over the next couple of weeks. Hopefully we'll get to see you down in a couple of weeks on your old stomping ground at York Park. You can, not too many snags. Just plenty of racking up, closing the guts, plenty of tackles, +4s and all of that for us. So we are looking forward to catching you and seeing how you progress this year, because not only do we get very excited about you for fantasy, but we are super excited to see you dominate the AFL. So thanks for joining us, mate, and good luck.
No worries. Thanks for having me on, boys.
Well, that was a great chat with Ryley. I'll tell you what, he's... be good out in the middle in a test match, so I reckon. Straight bat. He played a very straight bat. He's got his media training down pat. But there was a few little good takeaways.
There was.
And one about him, he's playing. So that's
I'll see what else. He pushed Coffield to the boundary.
Yeah.
Yes, that's 4 runs.
That was 4.
Yeah. So Coffield... we didn't even flinch on that.
No, he did not.
So therefore, we pick him.
It sounds like it because that price.
Yes, he's got a 3 in front of his name.
He's got the experience. Oh, gosh, he's got to be there, doesn't he?
He's got to be there at the moment.
That's exactly where we're at. So we are pretty much now going to have a look at the rest of them. Right, Locke, Sanders.
Yeah, 100%.
So I think everyone's got him.
Yes, they do.
Basically. He's got high ownership. Let's go through. We'll go in via position of our cash cows, and we'll see what we've got for this year. Now, defence. This is a bad place to start.
It is a bad place, yep.
And we'll talk strategy
It's an
here.
important place to start,
I don't think we'll be starting a rookie-priced player in defence.
No.
So we'll take a little bit of liberty. We normally call these rookies sub-300K players.
Yeah.
There are a few, though, that are in that 300K plus range that you would call cash cows as well.
Yes.
Because one of those, well, let's even start with him, Marty Hore at 307K. We'd call him that. But I feel like I'm not sure if he's going to be there, and I'm sceptical now after that match sim.
Very sceptical. Very, very, very.
Yeah, I think at the moment we don't have him just sitting in our team. Obviously, our teams are going to be able to change a lot right up to round one. But I don't think at the moment you structure around having him in it.
No.
Yeah, so, and if you were starting him, it'd have to be your D6, wouldn't he? Do you think at that price? Because we are probably going to have to spend a little bit of money on our bench in places. And where most people probably will go, and I haven't got myself talked out of this or anything yet, is Daniel Curtin at 279.
Is he tracking in the right direction?
He is. He'll be playing. Now, there's a lot of... I think he's just going to be in that defensive 50. I think that sounds like it. He's been in those latest match sims at the club, intra-club things. Right. So, obviously, we've got to watch him and see that he's there, but he should get his opportunity, you would think. We can look into past stats, and I know, Cow, this is part of your AFL record that you like writing down stats from because you need content in there.
Sure do.
He did average 102 for in the under-18 championships for WA, but he did play up the ground a lot more.
That was as a
midfield time.
That was as a midfielder. So
we're not expecting that.
I'm telling you, though, a midfielder who goes back, midfielder mentality in the back line, you can't tell me he's not getting amongst
I think he's going to have
plus
to be...
sixes.
do jobs.
Oh, that's all right, though. Think about it on the way out. Chippy chip, midfielder's not going to want to pass up any opportunities there.
That's true.
He'll be fine. He's walking 50 every game.
Yeah, I think he's a 50.
Yeah.
50. Yeah.
That's not a bad thing.
Scenario.
That's fine. For a bench player.
Rightio. The next one was, and this is out of yesterday, Josh Gibcus got through. So you're paying $256K for him. So the hammy issues that he had, like he went internationally.
He went to Saudi Arabia to get pig blood.
I like that.
Something like that.
I love the blood of other animals in other countries.
In the
seems
hamstring.
to fix him.
It does.
Yeah, it
in
does.
his debut season, he played 17 games, or home and away games. I think he must have played final as well or whatever. But he averaged 40 doing that.
Which game was that in? Yeah, you're right. Look,
Not massive.
That's a slow burn.
But does he get better?
Doesn't even burn. If he averages 40, that's not even really burning, is it?
No.
Not even simmering.
That's where you've got to get your expectations on. Are you better to have someone that you might be able to get a bit more of a go from?
50,
or he should be there. That's the thing. He should be there.
That's the thing. Well, that's his
Job
biggest
security.
thing, that he'll be there. 56K, I don't like paying up for someone that you're talking about that might not even burn at all.
Yep.
But we might be...
There may not be options.
No.
O'Sheen Mullen, he's at 245 now. Remember that. He played 6 games last year to average 30.8.
Would have been a few vests.
If you take
that.
there were.
Right.
The one sub-effect, a couple of sub-affected games there were. It bumps his average to 42.8.
Oh, okay. Yep.
He scored okay in the VFL, but yeah, he could be a slow burn cash cow.
That price puts him at an average of 27, right? That there's a bit of burning on top of that.
He can double it.
Not exactly.
Can he get to
smoking
50?
it.
No.
I think he can.
I think he can.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Okay,
The
right.
one
There's a
that
little burn
I
there.
do like here is Bodhi Uwland. So he is Gold Coast. And the reason I do like this is because this came out of their match sim, and he was in the A team.
Yeah.
So that's got to be
a good start.
win, you think. So he scored 68 in his first game.
Yeah,
That's
that was
pretty good.
nice. I remember that. Everyone was jumping on.
Then he scored 27 in the next game from a full game.
Yeah, okay.
That ain't good. Then spent some time in the VFL, and he came back on as a sub in a game later in the season. -3. Didn't get much time. So not good.
No, that's not ideal.
But he's
that
close to
means
basic
we
price.
get him cheap.
$219,000. So I think that he could be the one there. His VFL average was 74.
Oh,
So,
nice.
there's enough there to go. If he's playing, I'll pick him above those other guys. Probably not Curtin. I think Curtin I'll pick.
Yeah.
But it could be Uwland as my D8 that could be there.
I like it.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yep.
Because, Cow, you've been hot on the pink, Toby Pink.
Pink
defender.
eye, yes.
$200,000. So they'll need some tall timber back there for North. So he could be playing, but what are we going to expect from him?
You'd expect the same score as you would from a piece of timber, Roy. He's a key defender. Pink eye.
He averaged 50 in the Sandful last year.
Yeah, look, no. If we can avoid Pinky, then we do. But if our hands are tied because we've got no one else, hey, 200K, really slow burn from the tall timber.
Well, he could be a downgrade target later in the season because he might stay around 200K even if it's...
Well, that's right. And no, it's a no on Pinky, but geez.
Other names.
What a journey. What a journey.
That we do probably need to mention here. Denver Granger Barras may now have an opportunity in that Hawthorn backline.
Yes.
But you're paying $275 for him, and I think that's a bit too much for someone that might be a super slow burn too.
Yeah, fair call.
That might be it. Connor O'Sullivan, his name's floated around a little bit, $270 again, like you want better job security. Zac Reid for the Bombers at $253 can't be discounted. Well, that's a phrase, but it makes it sound like he's got a discount.
It did.
Which he does, sort of.
Confused enough
Anyway,
today, mate.
You've got to think about Zac Reid, I reckon,
worse.
at $253.
Because he played a couple last year. He popped his head in.
Yeah, and I think that the Bombers will play him. So that's, again, one to watch. But
they are in a rebuild phase, so...
Yeah.
Got him.
James Leake, does he get a gig, Roy? You've been
he will
probably
through the year.
getting sliding into the DMs now.
I am very excited about Leakey. Don't know if he'll start round one. That would be a big ask to break into a team that, they missed out on the GF by a point, wasn't it? So they're humming at the moment. But we'll see him through the year, and when we do see him, he's one to keep a very close eye on. Go.
We'll have a few more in the article that's dropping on afl.com.au this week, so look out for that one. Do we call Nick Coffield a cash cow? $358K. It's sort of in that little bit of an extra range, but you get him in the side as a cash cow, I guess.
Well,
and he probably ends up as our D6 now, doesn't he?
Can he get to like a 65?
Yeah, I think he can.
He's got the capacity to score like that.
Yep.
Obviously, injuries have been his issue.
They have.
Sounds like he's humming, and Ryley was all on board there.
He was. So if he's had a pre-season, he's good to go. Like, he's a good footballer.
Yeah.
He just needed a run.
Well, he hasn't played in 2 years.
No.
Not AFL.
He's way better than what his price suggests. So what are we classifying that as? I hide behind that almost as a inflated rookie price.
Yeah.
Agree. And that price is like at an average of 40. So you think there's easy 20 plus. Easy.
So defender-wise, what have you guys got at the moment in your team? Any on field? No.
No.
I've got Coffield as my D6.
Yeah, Coffield D6.
Yeah, at the moment, I don't even have that. I've got Zach Williams as D6.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
And then on your bench, I guess we're far from locked into that, but I've got Uwland there with Curtin. That's my two.
Yep, that'll do for now.
You still got Pink, I think.
I do.
I would still have Pinky there, yeah.
Let's move into the midfield, and probably no better place to start than the most selected mid-only rookie, and that is Colby McKercher. Take it away, Calvinator.
Well, we're talking about slow burns. This is a full-on bloody bushfire, Roy.
Evacuate the area.
It's been a slow burn for you, though, because you launched into this about 6 years ago.
What do you mean?
As his own group teacher.
Yes, class teacher.
Lock you in 2024.
Grade 7.
I probably won't be alive by then.
Young Colby walks in. Footy record in his hand. Hey, Calvin, sign this. Yeah, worries, mate. Sit down. All right, teacher, whatever. Anyway, so, he will be... I think he can get in the 90s.
Yeah, so do I.
I think he can average 90.
So that half-back role looks real. That's what he's going to be doing. It's just going to be... It all adds up because he can score. We saw him massive 111 average in the Coates League.
Yeah.
He's big up there in the... under 18 championships as well. Just, he looks so good and confident out there playing.
Look, what makes me laugh is people were so critical early on when Colby got drafted, and we were like, there's a 90 average incoming there. And they were like, people were like, these guys are morons. Now, you see it starting to come through. That guy could be a keeper. Oh, really? Thanks for the info.
Be. So
of course he could be.
Get ready for that at round 7 when he does gain defender status, and that's almost got to be part of your plans with your team.
I've got a message.
You're putting back from him.
No. I won't reveal my source, Roy, because you can't do that.
He's block count.
It says Fantasy Cash Cow mooing. Kolb had 36 touches, 9 marks during the intra-club on Wednesday.
That's rude.
36 and 9.
There's your defender keeper averaging 95. Thanks for coming.
Anyway, so the good thing about that will be he'll pick up defender status.
Yeah.
And he can go back there to replace your Coffields.
And rack up.
Riley, we've got to mention as well,
Yep.
another lock. We'll have to have the two of them.
Yep.
Now, I guess the question for these... So, Riley there, 125 average, I think he was in the...
Under 18s.
Yep. So in the champs, I think that was for him. Anyway, so those two should be both in their respective teams. So that's North Melbourne and the Western Bulldogs, but also in our teams. But where will they sit? Now, I've been all preseason just thinking, yep, I'm 3 rookies on field with going Colby and Riley at 6 and 7. But you guys have both changed your little group think going on there. Aren't you at 7 and 8?
Aren't you in that group?
No,
he's not invited.
because Calvin's in it. And I don't want to be at all persuaded
They're
by
7 and 8
anything
at the moment. They're 7 and 8.
Same for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a deep midfield.
It is deep midfield.
It's a...
You won't have to do any upgrades at all in the midfield.
No.
Do you know what, though? It's a reflection of where it's at the moment, and you'll get into it in a minute, but defenders, there's no rookies that we want. When traditionally we have probably one rookie defender in our backline.
Yep.
No one worth considering for that. There's people in the mix in the midfield, but it's that weak forward line in terms of your premium options and the preview. There's a few rookies that will be available up there, I think. So that's why we've fallen on that, and I'll invite you to the chat.
But the thing is, we do have a lot of midfielders. That's the thing, and this is why we want to be thinking of it. So Jeremy Sharp there is the next one on the list, who is my M8.
Yeah.
So I'm going McKercher, Sanders, Sharp. And I reckon of people that will be in the top 20,000 coaches by round 4 have got that.
Agree.
Right now. That might change what I'm saying. I'm not saying at round...
No, that's where I
most
used
likely
to be
all
as
the coaches that are going to be up there competing would start that way or would be thinking about that now. They might pivot after they listen to your two genius brains talking
Thing
about
is,
it.
though,
So Sharp's there because I feel like he's going to be on the wing. And he will win that spot there.
Yeah.
And they've talked up that being his attribute that he can run, and that's why he's going to be ahead of some of those other Freo options there.
Have we changed your scoring system? Last time I checked, running around didn't help rack up the score, dog.
Especially on the wing. But
the thing is, he's replacing Liam Henry on that wing.
And you like those numbers.
Well, Liam Henry averaged 77 there last year.
Right.
Okay,
huge.
so, and we know that Sharpie racked up back in the day.
Well, we did.
And we know there's a hot wing and a cold wing, so it's not always going to be awesome for him. But I think he can be good. And having him on your field
He's averaging more than 60, which is a win for a spot.
Agree.
There.
Yes.
Agree. I'm not against having him there. No. But at the moment, my midfield looks sweet.
Yeah. And wink, wink. We know why.
Jai Clark.
I don't know.
He's someone that is worth considering, and we need to look at there for Geelong. So he'll be a massive pre-season game watch for us at 237K.
Give him a go, Geelong.
He'll get it this year.
All right, good.
And we have to have him if he's named.
Yeah. So if he avoids vests, he should be in our sides. And that's, definitely one on the bench at 237K. The other one like that is Matt Roberts. So I picked him last year, and he got injured that week, of course. That's how that happens. So.
Of course. You're the only unlucky coach in the whole competition, dog.
He's looking good. But what they've talked about for him is that he might play off the half back. Yeah. Which then you go, I'm not sure whether that is going to happen or anything like that.
It won't.
But, he's at 245. Again, would be someone that you'd have on your pine. They have a bye, so that's something that you need to be aware of. But a rookie price player, we're happy with that. He might be one of the better options. So almost, could that be a 5 that you could go with McKercher, Sanders, Sharp on field, Robertson, Clark on the bench?
Yeah.
And you're paying up for all those guys because there's no basement dudes in that list.
No.
Well, because I feel like the basement dudes, big question marks after that.
Yeah, there are. So the way you've talked those guys up, that justifies your structure without a doubt.
Yeah.
Because between Sharp, Roberts and Clark, whoever's got the best role out of those three, they're going to be contributing.
By the scale of hardness.
Yeah, good scores every week.
You'd think so.
Yeah, so and that's the good thing. Even in that too, Roberts would be the only one missing out of that crew for a buy.
Yeah,
early
yeah,
buys.
true.
So
And they're players that have been in the system as well.
Yep.
It's not like you're taking a punt on someone you've never seen before. Even Clark, we've only seen him for one quarter, and he had 5 tackles and 30 points in that time. Yep. So he knows how to keep the score.
See, and Roberts played 6 games last year. A lot of them vested, but
doesn't matter. He's got AFL experience. He's been in the system.
That's it.
So a couple of other names that are worth considering and talking about here at the basement. Then Clay Hall, 200k, but that might be on the back burner now after that injury. And then Kane McAuliffe had been talked up a bit, but with all those midfielders out, I would have liked to have seen more time.
Yeah,
agree.
That's the thing. So they're there. Others that are worth having a bit of a look at, if we're going 200k, Roy Jackson Bins, you've talked to him.
Get in the bins.
I don't
Any
think
other team in the comp and he'd be a walk-up starter.
Yeah.
He might not get a game in the 22 for the Blues.
He'll be there.
To start with. Hey, we'll have him at some stage. He will play this year.
Yep.
Guaranteed.
We'll need to watch Ed Allen for Collingwood, but as if anyone's getting Collingwood, but...
Yeah.
He's one that you need to watch as a mid-only. A few others that have got some dollars on their head. Let's start down the bottom end there. It's still 241k. Harry Roaston, he played for GWS and could be, is he in the mix? That would be one there worth having a look at, as is Josh Fay, 277. It's tough.
It is tough.
You're not... These guys could be subs. These guys could be...
they'll play this year, both of them. But I don't think you can pay the extra
Obviously,
for
with GWS, though, they have a few players that are already named out for round 1.
Yeah,
so
that's true. There's spots there.
I think Cummings one of them. Who else was there? I've forgotten them all now. That could have been in some breaking news.
Oh, well.
That's the way it is these days.
Yep.
I saw that when I was hung as well, I reckon. Who else was there? Josh Sinn. He's been talked up a little bit as that halfback too.
Yeah, I have heard about
But
Sydney.
at 257k, we'll see what that looks like for Port Adelaide. There's that Friday night game against...
makes that very relevant.
Against the Crows.
That'll
be a big one to
we're
watch.
a fan of Sydney.
Yes, the Sinders. So that's the midfield. I think we'll go... Yeah, so structure-wise, you're definitely 7 and 8.
At the moment, I'm 7 and 8.
Yeah, so I'll go 6, 7, 8. I could be swayed, but I might just stick with that.
Yeah, it's just I
might bolster my defence, though. You guys are bolstering your midfield. My defence might just feel a bit more...
I just think it's access to more guaranteed points.
Yeah, especially
early on.
We talked about that with the best 18. We like that.
Yeah.
That they should be the ones.
Yeah. But anyway, move on, dog.
There's a bit to go under the bridge. Moving on to the ruck line, and that's not pretty.
Throw it away.
No, but it's important because I need to know who to put there.
Okay, so have we put a line? Let's go with these plus 300k players, because that's where, if you want someone playing, it's most likely going to be one of these two.
Yep.
Jordan Sweet at 387, which really goes against a lot of my thinking with who my R3 is.
Yeah.
We've seen it work a couple of times, or a little bit. Probably the one was Riley O'Brien a few years ago, but even the timing of that was part of that. I think.
Was, but that was a match-winning cash
definitely was
situation,
and that's where I won't say people got lucky with that one, but I'm going to say the timing just worked out perfectly for them to pick him, and then they were able to put him on field, and it was a genius move. And if you were locked into your set and forget rucks, you don't trade them out.
No.
And it would have been the right move to have actually done that with what you got out of it.
If I didn't do it, I reckon I'm happy to call it people got lucky.
So, Jordan Sweet, at the moment, we're feeling like or thinking, and that's again one that we'll watch very closely in these pracky games, is Soldo appears to be what they'll go with their number one ruck.
And it wasn't always that way this preseason.
Because Soldo was injured.
Yeah, and Sweetie had him covered through that period. I'm telling you. But I think you're right, dog.
It's interesting. So I reckon the interesting thing about that, though, is will they play both of them together? If they do, does that give you any, would you go there at all?
Look, this is one we really have to see. I'm not ruling it out because who am I to say that Sweet won't end up number one ruck for them somehow? Yep. I think, though, I'm getting cold feet on it just because the sharing, and I don't know anymore if they will play both of them at the same time. I thought they'd play Sweet ruck and Soldo, because he has played all right forward before in the past, But I'm concerned now. It's too much to pay for a guy on the bench that might not be locked in the 22, I think. Now, that's a big backflip for me to say that.
So you can pay a little bit less if Toby Conway gets a game. $3.16 you pay for him. He played one game last year, score of 48. I think half of it came from just his hit-outs anyway.
That's what we'll need.
Yeah, could he be handed a game? Does he get in front of the big fellow who's there?
Stanley's
better say Sinclair for a minute there.
Yes, he's old. Yes, he's old because he plays for Geelong, right? We get that. But at some point, they've got to give this guy a go.
In their practice, intra-club practice matches, and it's no surprise, but Conway's been having his way in the hit-out department, at least. So would you not want to give your mids first use, maybe? Like, do you see a transition coming here?
Yes, I do. I really think that it has to happen at some point.
Yeah. Start of the season?
That's the thing. I don't know. So Rhys Stanley turns 34 this year. And you've got a guy who's ready to go. At some point, they've got to hand it over to him.
Collingwood, Geelong still a chance to challenge it all?
Well, they would like to think so. And that's all that matters.
Yeah. So it's time for them to give a Jai Clark, a Conway, these guys to be your next guys through. Anyway, I'm not the coach. I don't get a say in that.
No, but I mean, there's at $3.16. Is that an answer?
Could be.
It's still quite expensive.
Still a lot.
But if he's number one ruck, it's a gimme.
Especially if we need to pay up elsewhere on the bench. You've got to do it
for the cash cow. Yeah.
Yeah. So 200K is probably where we're most likely going to go. Cow will probably go back to the well with Max Heath.
Look, I liked Heathy because Sunday Heathy, he always played Sunday afternoon. Great little vice.
Have you done your job of this research yet for us?
No. I'll get to that later, Doc. There's still 24 days. So having a guy who plays late on a Sunday is a walk-up vice-captain option where you can put him on your field, loophole, all that sort of stuff.
Harry Barnett might be that guy because he plays for West Coast.
And
they puts him in the mix.
They do. He's definitely in the mix.
And he's probably further down the pecking order now because they did pick up Matt Flynn. So,
so that's a good thing.
Yeah,
he played one
he
game.
Doesn't play. Yeah. So I don't know. And that's 200K. And they've got the ruck forward status, which could be handy. In some world, you end up with another ruck forward somewhere on a bench or whatever to have that little bit of flexibility.
Yeah.
So I don't know. One of those two is probably where you might be looking, I guess. Heathy averaged 73 in the VFL. Is there any world they've got Dum-de-Dum Campbell, but he's behind them. And they've got Jack Hayes back into the team now.
Yeah, Heathy's a long way.
Miles.
Finbar Maley is another one. He's North Melbourne, and North don't actually really have a backup ruck. So he could actually be some chance to play at some point, especially if Xera gets his face broken again.
Well, see, that's why I don't mind the handcuffing.
Yes,
there, because I'll start with Xera.
And I'm tipping North Melbourne aren't playing a lot of Friday night under lights games.
So anyway, he's got a basketball background.
He's got a what? Lock and load.
20-year-old. I think he's a bit of a mix of a ruck forward. Probably played a bit more forward, but he's got an interesting story. You should go back and research that and have a read about him. But he's sort of come through a different pathway as such. Dominated some local level footy and just build his way up.
Like
so
this.
they've talked about him.
Finbar.
I want his position to be renamed ruck power forward, Roy.
And he might be. That's it. But I don't know. Some of these other players that you monitor if they came in. We had Lockie McAndrew last year, Roy. He played a few games for us. He's still only 288K. Cow's been trying to get Kruger's name mentioned on here more times than he actually should at 261.
And I apologise.
Yeah, you should, because that's taken up people's listening. And
I'm surprised we're still talking rucks. You've done really well here, dog.
Mate Kalina? No.
Sounds like a drink.
It does. A little cocktail.
You like Mate Kalina?
Yes, I do.
Let's go to the forward line. There's this little known bloke here.
Oh, sorry.
Harley Reid, mid-forward, 300K.
Did you see him push off Chesser?
Yeah,
in that
Jinby.
Oh, Jinby, sorry.
Yeah.
Jesus, can I have a an early minute and go have a nap. I got nothing today. No, but
he was
Gindy,
good.
Like, I mean, that guy can
Mr.
tackle.
Strong tackler. Those arms look massive.
He looks huge. He was averaging 6 or 7 tackles a game last year, and he just got pushed off. Harley Reid is the real deal. All that hype.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
It's real.
It's warranted.
And
66% of teams he's in at the moment.
Yeah.
And so he should be.
Definitely.
So he is definitely in there. We'll talk some positional stuff in a moment of where we've got them all, but he's definitely an on-field player for us.
Yes.
In a bit of a price order to go through, Zane Dersma is highly selected.
Yep.
291K. I'm not going there.
No.
I think he's...
Why not, dog?
I think he's probably going to be stuck too much as a forward.
Yeah.
And I just don't think he's going to get the opportunity to score as well. He plays for North Melbourne, so the ball's not going to be there, but... It's a bad thing to say to North Melbourne, but I just don't think you've got better options.
Yeah,
is the other way to say, which almost goes hand in hand with Nick Watson as well, who'll be that small forward. He might have some games where he's flashy and scores a few points, but I don't think you're going to get the value out of these guys as you could with some of these other forwards because of the roles that are there. So that's where that is. So yeah, Dersma at 291 and Watson at 288. They're a bit of a pass for me at the moment.
Yes.
Those prices too, I'd probably want them on field, and I don't think I'd want to field them.
No.
And because there are a few of these guys, popping their names up is essentially...
Gosh, I feel like we are going to break a few of our past rules this year, though, and have the most expensive bench we've ever had.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We could be, but we've already probably started doing that in both on the midfield and defence.
Yes.
We are, aren't we?
We are.
We've probably got an extra 100K minimum
so
in each position on the bench.
So we're basically going a premium down to a mid-pricer somewhere to...
In a way, yeah.
Yeah, to make this happen. But I think it's the play.
It could be. So then in that mix too at 288, though, this is where we start looking at guys, and this could be an on-field one, is that's Charlie Lazzaro.
Whoa. First time I've heard his name all
This feels like 4 weeks ago.
Well... You guys took a few weeks to get on board. But we saw him dominate last week in the Pracky game. And in the A-team, getting midfield clock, he's a mid-forward, he's 288K. We have to massively consider, and if we are, and if he's playing there round 1, then he will be on my field.
I'm looking at his numbers from last year.
Yeah.
He played round 24 against the Suns and scored 88. Right?
It's good. That's why it's 288K. That's the maths of it.
He played six games last year, 3 in the vest, and out of those 3, he had a 19. That's not great. But in his last 2 out of the vest was a 74 and an 88.
Lock him in.
I can't believe, and I apologise because we're usually on top of this stuff, I can't believe none of us saw this coming.
I know. Like,
That's
we're supposed
poor
to be
by us.
fantasy experts.
Yeah. One of us, at least one of us should have seen this coming.
One of us.
And you know that one of us did. And you still laughed at me.
I did. I laugh at you all the time.
Well, you're there talking about Nathan Kruger.
Oh, you can say 20K on Nathan Kruger.
I never said that.
Well.
But seriously, you would.
So Charlie Lazzaro, massive one to watch. And if
Easily
he's there
good enough
round
to
1,
start on your ground too.
Yeah.
Because look at him, he can hit 80.
Okay. His ownership has skyrocketed up to 3%.
That will be double figures.
I reckon.
It needs to be double figures. Unless
Has to
I
be.
refresh that for a while. But
No, you probably
we'll have a look in a minute. I'll come back to me on that one.
Let's go. Caleb Windsor, who did play yesterday. We talked about that. So he was playing on that wing. He has every chance to nail that. To lock that in.
Yeah.
Could be one that we might put on our bench.
A couple of times I saw him, he didn't look like a rookie. He looked really good.
He looked, because he's fairly tall.
He was.
That's one thing
Yeah.
about him. So he averaged 83 in the Coates Talent League. Calvin, this is a stat that you pulled out. So I'm unsure whether I should quote it or not, but you said that Melbourne debuted 4 debutants last year.
Something like that.
And they played 50 games between them, so that's not bad sort of figures there.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. They do.
Is that a real stat?
Yes,
because I
they
might
did.
write that.
No. I wouldn't write it.
No, it would be real. You know, someone else would have researched it and cow-poached it.
No. So, yes, they would have done that. They did blood a few rookies last year.
Oh, yeah, name
them.
Okay, let's have a look. Judd Judd McVie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He played a bunch. Woden.
Oh, yeah.
Bailey Laurie.
Van
Ryan. So there's 4 already, just off the top of my head.
What about Chandler or someone?
Was he?
No,
he played before.
Played
Did
a couple before that. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Back in your box.
Oh, that was a question, not a statement.
Lazzaro,
wasn't
his
sure.
ownership's up to 6%, by the way.
6%.
So you've really influenced the community, Doc.
Just shifting the needle here. One legendary talk of the time. No, well, everyone saw it last week, and then...
But you were already
I've
onto
never
it.
heard of it. See, I don't know.
You had him at 3%.
Oh, I probably had him at 1%,
Then
mate.
his ability... No, you got him up to the 3.
Oh, yeah.
People hadn't heard of him.
Yep.
And then he got a kick.
And went up to 6.
It's all right. Should have trusted me earlier.
You can get him to 10.
Easy. After this. Go and lock him in there. Even if you don't want to pick him, do it now just to get the ownership up. There's enough people listening to this to shift it up there a little bit. Probably bench. This is where our 200k are. So Darcy Jones could be a good chance for round 1 now because of those GWS injuries. So he's 200k, got the forward status, and I think that he is certainly worth considering, and nice to have at that 200k for your bench, because we need to find some 200ks to get the cash down a little bit.
When we chatted to Briggsy the other day, and Briggsy ticked it off.
He was pretty confident.
So he's a good player. He would have been in the mix prior to the injuries, I reckon. Sub-risk, but I reckon he's, like you said, we do need to cut the cost at some of our selections here, and I think he's a good spot to do it.
Perfect. So the other one like that is very popular is Sean Manor. He's a mature age Geelong player. And, we watch. I'm not exactly sold that he's there, and I reckon he's a massive chance to wear a vest.
Yeah,
that's an issue, but I don't know why everyone's gone so cold on him. Like, yes, we're not hearing about him, but that's
we don't
what
hear
Geelong
anything
do.
from Geelong,
Like, he could be ripping up, and I wouldn't be surprised. So keep a close eye, and don't hesitate. If he is named, he can go on the ground.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's that good. He's as good as anyone else we're talking about.
He can rack up.
Yeah, he can.
Right, let's have a look at some others to watch there. Just reel off these names, bit of yes, no, maybe, whatever we're thinking about. Nate Caddy for the Bombers, 273. Too much to play for a key forward, I guess.
Lost me at Bombers.
Orazio Fantasia, ex-Bombers, 269k. Is he playing, Roy?
Yeah, he's playing.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, he's playing, and he's going to be good. Like,
What does he turn that 269 into?
Oh, 450?
Yeah, right, okay.
Which
is he can do that quick enough.
Yeah. So he's a vest concern.
Massive.
But, yeah, he's going to be obviously playing much better than that price suggests.
Kai Lohman, 257.
Worth considering, but
probably
a vest guy.
Yep. Darcy Wilson there, 249, maybe not. Aaron Cadman, 221. He's cheap.
Super cheap.
No.
Is he just too much of a slow burn, though?
He's not even a burn.
Oh, you're too harsh on him.
No, I'm not.
I think he'll be fine this year.
All right, have a look at the scores he had. I know it's last year, and there's natural progression there, Roy.
There is. He's had a whole pre-season.
Yep. 200, I'm with you, but it's a no.
Okay.
Cooper Simpson's at 200k. Consider. Just keep watching there.
Yes.
James Cheetahs at 200k as well for Gold Coast. Confident. And that was Sam Flanders pretty much said he'd back him his own self into play.
Which I do love, but I think maybe not to start with. Yeah.
Braden George, North Melbourne there. Can keep watching him. Bailey Laurie, he played in that game.
4 games last year for him.
Yeah, but he played in the Pracky game, so...
Keep an eye.
Jacob Bauer, 200k. Bigoa Nguyen, he's North Melbourne and might actually get a gig being one of those tall timbers for that defence line too. He's at 200k there. And Cal, did you put this in here, Chris?
My mate Burjo.
Past player at Destroy.
Oh, yeah, look. He's on the watch list, Roy. That's it. That's all I'll say.
Depth player.
We did talk that we are going to take a little bit of liberty to go with those plus 300k players. And I guess Finlay Macrae is the one that has been there for us thinking about and probably in that cash cow category.
Yeah.
He's ticking the boxes. That's the thing.
He is.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to him playing against another team.
Yes.
Not just his own team, but
at least he's been playing against a good team.
And that's
a bonus.
In the A team, at times. So the sub is a risk for him as well.
It is, but I mean, you can clip up a good preseason highlight package of anybody.
Yep.
Like everyone's going to have flashes, but the stuff I've seen from him looks like he's improved again. And they do need to inject a little bit if they're going to make a dynasty.
And that's it. Like last year, they were throwing vests at Tom Mitchell and Pendlebury and that side bottoms there, of course, as well. So they're getting old.
Yeah.
So
and
at some point,
they managed them well last year.
Perfectly, you might say, Roy.
Yes.
And last one, 282K. Is that getting a bit too much to call a cash cow?
382 with
382
with sexy back
Alex
Sexton, Roy.
Well, after Flando said that.
Is he in your teams at the moment?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, that was a bit of rage trading almost, or whatever you call hype trading.
Hype trade, yeah. I don't know.
Call it a
but
name.
if Sexy is back, we borderline have to do it. The most delicious role in fantasy, and if he's unleashed back there, which I'm actually confident of it happening, that's just a walk-up pick, I think.
100%.
He's up to 5% ownership, Sexy back.
Keep Sexy
It looks
back
good.
quiet.
It is.
So that'll be a big one to watch over these pracky games. They've obviously got the round 3 bye, so that is something to be considered. But
So what are we allowed to call him at that price?
I think you're getting him in as a cash cow.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a real mid-pricer.
No.
I'm happy to classify that as cash cow.
Yeah, that's not mid.
As the magic number's gone up and the rookie prices, it's borderline, but we'll call it a cash cow.
That gives him an average of 42 next to his name.
Yeah, he'll smoke.
So, in saying that, let's look at our structure of our rookies in our forward line, what we're thinking. For me, Sexy Back is sitting at F3 for me. So that gets him 3, Harley Reid 5, and then I've currently got Lazzaro there at 6.
Yeah, right.
So if we're calling Sexy Back a rookie pick, a cash cow, that's what mine look like. What about you guys?
Yep, so I've got Sexy Back, Macrae, then Reid and Lazzaro.
So you're going 4, basically.
4. Yeah.
So you've got F3 is your Sexy Back.
Yep. So
right,
that's,
no wonder you're stacking your mids.
Well, that's where I'm different to you. Yeah. So because of that, one extra there. But when you're talking Lazzaro, Reid, Macrae, and Sexy Back, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, see, and that's in play. I don't mind it. What's your dog's breakfast? I mean, Calvinator
1,
look like
2, 3, 4. Sexy Back would come in at number 4 for me. I've still got 5. I've still got 5.
Yeah.
He's not a rookie.
No, that's legit mid price.
Yeah.
And then Harley Reid, and at the moment, I've actually got Macrae on the bench.
Right. So you'd be happy to have 310 on your bench.
Well, I think so, especially in that position, because if something goes wrong, I have basically 7 forwards where I can fix up mistakes.
I've still got 5 in that list that I had.
Yeah.
So 5's F2.
Who's one?
Taylor Adams.
All right.
So my F1 at the moment.
So no James Jordon there.
No. I've gone cold on Jordon.
I've got Jordon. I'm still holding out for Connor McDonald. But
What?
wait and see.
Are you still doing that?
Yeah, we're at the moment.
Okay.
So I reckon that's where some strategies change. We'll talk about this over the coming weeks as well, though. Maybe that price range isn't where we're looking for those guys now.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to dump him.
Yeah.
Dump him, thump him, move on. So, easy.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just with Jordon, the only thing for me, I started racking up a few too many players on that buy. That was my concern with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go back and have a listen to what we said about each position, a bit of structure there as well with those in those last 4 podcasts. And forward line is definitely going to be one that we are going to be talking about a fair bit more over the next 24 days.
Popped into my head the last day or two.
Oh, God,
is
nice.
actually starting with Flanders, going against the rule.
Oh, yeah. No, I think he is officially, I'm going to say it, allowed to be an exception to the rule.
Agree.
Possibly the one and only.
Agree.
Got a question for the traders? Tweet the boys at AFL Fantasy or head to facebook.com/AFL Fantasy Official.
All right, let's have a look at some questions from social media. We've got a few. We'll try to get through a couple because we've been talking for a fair bit today. This has been a long podcast.
At least this will bring some common sense and focus to the pod.
All right, let's start with Sam Parry. What do we need to see from the likes of Yo, Fife and or Coffield before the risk is worth it? Is there a line? guess with those guys that they remain fit.
That's it. That's all. That's all that we need.
Do we think they'll score enough? Like, do we need to see a certain role from any of those guys? Yo, I think we're locked on role.
Yeah.
Fife, what would we need to see, though? Like, what percentage of CBAs does he need in these pracky games, for example? Like, is he in there 40% of the time that he's on field for?
I'd want to see 40% plus.
I'm still not locked on Fife just because of how many midfielders they have.
Yeah, for sure. It's just
Could he get a rest?
He's well, yes. Like, he's obviously a risk, but he's also Brownlow medalist.
Yeah,
absolute.
And it sounds like they're just going, just do it. Just be a midfielder, mate.
And play.
Yeah.
Just play, which he hasn't been able to do for the last few years. So we just need, personally, I just need to see him looking fit, up and about, and that'll be enough for me.
Coffield as well, I guess it's just everything sounds right now after speaking with Ryley before. I think that's a...
Now, the thing with Coffield, at that price, even though he's such a bargain, that is too much to have on your bench.
Yep.
So I actually do want to see that he gets involved in some cheap stuff down the back to make sure his score is ticking over. Because if you're picking him, you're putting him on your field, and I currently don't have a spot for that. So I'll be keeping a close eye on him.
John, hey, legends, who performed better at the MCG, Taylor or Tom Swift? Also, which player so far from the intraclub and first practice match has changed your mind? Anyone changed your mind on anything?
I wouldn't say change.
Anyone you got hotter on?
No, I'm glad that Gibcus got through as a bench rookie. He was probably one of the only ones that I sort of take.
I probably got colder on Billings from what I saw.
Yeah.
Like, I'd want more like he was in the mix as one of those mid-price players.
He was in the depth
line.
squad.
Yeah, I was very warm on Yo. I'm very hot on Yo.
Yeah. Oh, geez, some of these ads you get on X these days are bad. Look at those feet.
Oh! I've been getting feed ads as well.
Yeah, I know why you do, though. What about Warnie?
Jeez.
Jake.
Foot fetish?
Defender on field for Jake here, under 300K. Who are they? Don't like Hore or Curtin as they are fringe players? Well, don't have one.
No.
Restructure to get that. Restructure to get Coffield as your
or
D6.
Williams. Yep.
Or Zach Williams. I think if you are wanting an under 300K defender on field, bump it up and get Coffield there at that price.
You're going to have to.
Unless you're just going to go with your Curtin. If you really want to do that, then Curtin's your man.
Yeah.
Rob has said, how many keepers should we aim in our initial squads? Currently have 12 with a couple of mid-prices up forward. I'm hoping will pop. So I guess the thing is, and the question there about keepers, we're talking about players that are super low priority to trade, that you're hoping will be there until that mid-season buy round, because that's probably the little trigger now, is that some players can be moved at that point. So
yeah,
that's what we're talking about with a keeper.
I've got about 11 players that if they perform how I think they are, I'd have no reason to want to trade them.
Yep.
So 11
and it
keepers
doesn't always happen, but that's what you're thinking at the moment.
Like they're guys that I wouldn't want to have to worry about.
Like, for example, a Bodhi Grundy.
Yeah.
Now, he's not going to be someone you're going to want to move straight away.
No.
But at the pointy end of the year, when you turn into luxury trades, then yes, we all need English and Marshall at some point.
Yeah, so I don't count Brody as a keeper.
No.
I'll tell you what, you could be pleasantly surprised,
Agreed.
and that would be a bonus. But no, I don't think he's going to be in the role on 22, for example.
Yep.
So, no, he's not a keeper.
All right, this next one, this keeper league season, people are making their decisions of who to keep here. Can only keep 6 out of this. Bit of a heap that they've got there, and it doesn't look that pretty. Just some names I want to throw at you to say here. Like you've got Chad Warner from Sydney.
Yeah.
Got to be obviously considering him. Yes. Matt Crouch. Who would you be keeping out of those two?
Probably Warner.
Yep. What about Bailey Scott? Does he get in there? He's been training the halfback as well, apparently.
Yeah,
he's
worth
got mid-only
considering.
status. Darcy Cameron, Nick Vlaston.
I'm happy to get rid of those two.
Salem.
Get rid of.
Taylor Adams.
How many does he have to keep?
So he's got 6. I think he's got the 6 on here already that are clicked on. So you keep a Petrarca. Will Day, I think you still keep, do you?
Yeah.
You have to. Caleb Daniel, Sam Flanders, Carl Amon, and Bodhi Grundy. So
Yeah,
then
okay.
I think you've probably picked the 6. I don't think you'd be picking Warner over those guys. Crouch.
No.
Good question.
No, it is.
I think you've picked the 6 right ones there, Sean.
I think you've done it right,
well done.
yes.
All right, Ben. Bolton F1. Also starting a Treloar or Liver with a juicy run. So
I'm not against people going against the grain with this sort of thing. Back it in.
No, so Bolton at F1, just don't get tricked into what that looked like yesterday because they were missing a lot of midfielders and the comms have been coming out that he's going to play more forward.
Yeah, he's certainly
That's
not for
my
me.
worry there.
But if you like it.
Tim, Stuff Fantasy, what was each of your favourite songs at the Blink-182 show?
That is the toughest question.
It was also good. I was pretty stoked to see some of those new songs live.
Yeah, they were
the
great.
Part 3 was cool. Things like Turpentine was pretty cool.
That
live.
was awesome.
That was good. But if you're throwing it back, like, there isn't much of a better finish than Damn It.
No, that was good.
And that was cool. Actually, to tell you that, Calvinator, because
Anthem Part
up
2
the back.
was sick.
And they put out the confetti in the crowd. A little sperm.
See, that's inappropriate.
Oh, well, especially when it hit you in the head.
Highly inappropriate.
The rate of knots. Bang.
All right, next one. Paul Rogers. Where are all the mega fantasy nerds when you need them? We're waiting on practice match scores. A few people did try to tweet out some scores and some stats.
Yeah, don't
Calvin
worry.
believes them all.
They'll come out of the woodwork.
They will.
This
week we'll be busy. Yeah. But then we get real stats.
Then we get proper ones.
Community series
boring
games.
Real stats. I like the community.
All right, who's more risky here in your starting team for Jacob Quirk? Caleb Windsor or Jeremy Sharp?
Who's more risky?
I'm going to say Windsor.
I'm with you.
Over Sharp. Sharp's got history.
Yeah.
An older body, and he's been recruited, hopefully, for that reason, to play there. Windsor might be developed.
Agree.
Yeah.
And potentially bested at times.
Yeah.
Mike Britton's looking at the best of the about 500k midfielders. That's the likes of Ginby and Wardlaw. So,
oh, yes.
Wardlaw, we're excited about.
Yeah. I reckon
I think Ginby can be awesome too.
Yeah, they're both underpriced, but Wardlaw's where I'm at in the breakout stakes at the moment.
Of those guys?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, next one. Secret Agent P. Heard talk of Combin taking kick-ins. Is he a forward option? Or is Sexton, Finlay Macrae, Reid all safer at similar prices? See, I'd have those guys before Comden.
Same here.
Straight out of Combin's not going to take kick-outs.
I don't.
He's playing back though.
Yeah, but they're not going to trust him with a kick.
No.
How much is he exactly?
He's 3.38.
Okay.
So they're going to give it to Colby or Sheezel and those guys taking
Without
the
a doubt,
kicks.
they will.
Yeah.
I think Shees will be good. Dangerfield also talked up Parfitt recently. There's a good chance to have a jump in scoring this year.
Big time,
He
because
could have
he's
a crack
been so disappointingly low.
Yeah. It's been very bad.
I wouldn't do it, though.
Awkward. 673.
Yeah. What about draft then? Is he mid only?
He's a mid only.
Yeah. See, I couldn't even go there, I don't think.
No, don't think so either.
Hinge or Geordie Clark for the Carlton Blues. I can use both as stepping stones to the premium defenders.
That's where I'm sort of sitting with my Jordan Clark back there at the moment.
Yeah.
I think he can go 90.
So do I.
Yeah, so he's at like a 76. Hingy's about the same, 75. I just think that he has access to the 90 probably a lot easier than what me mate Hingy does.
I think Hingy is going to be asked to do a little bit more defensively this year as well, as opposed to Clark will be unleashed the whole time.
I just think he'll be Clark's taking kick-outs, German.
I think he's going to be very busy back there.
We'll wait and see. But at the moment, I'd go Clarkie.
Adam wants to know if we should save some cash to upgrade players after the buys.
See,
Can you make some plans?
Some people do this, and they like to bank the cash to launch.
Yeah.
I think there's a time and place to do it. Definitely.
It's got to be naturally done, though. I think you've got to be very happy with your team.
Yeah.
With your cash banked.
Yeah, true.
Is there a figure that you wouldn't like to have in your bank?
Oh,
like,
I wouldn't. I can't sit with over 200 in there.
No. So, but if you had
because I just
200
think
and you had
it's
5
points
in
on
your team,
field.
would you try to put that on top of 5, for
I
example?
don't know if there's anyone 200k better than him.
That you can get to.
So that's where it would organically fit and work, like you just said.
So whereas like someone like a Tom Green who goes North Melbourne, West Coast, buy, right? When he's averaging 120, we're going to be scrambling the week after when he plays the Suns in round 4 How do we get involved with this?
Well, I don't know. Do you start with... You don't want an Uber Premium losing money, for example.
Yep.
But, do you start with someone... If you're hell-bent on wanting Tom Green, which I actually am as well.
Yep.
But, do you start an Uber Premium that you're not as hot on, but you pay a bit more for them, you get 3 games out of them.
Okay.
With not the intent to do it, because you never can plan ahead, I don't think, with trades like this. But then you're in a position where if you have a luxury trade, you could drop that expensive Uber Premium. And we're even talking about someone like Bont, who I like his first 3 games.
Yep.
Could you just go 3 weeks of him and then have the flexibility if he's just going 110s, 105, not the 122 you'd want?
Yep.
You could just go to Tom
You could,
Green.
definitely.
I prefer that instead of having money in the bank.
Injuries, anything can happen.
Yes.
Jake, can we start the Shees if we already have Stewart and Young?
Right?
Yeah, hell yeah. Jump on with me. I'm there.
We're probably loading up a little bit more in defence now as well. Like Stewart and Young, for me, are locks. I'll definitely have those 2.
Yeah, I've got those 2, and I've got the Shees. Now, the thing we're watching with Shees is this Zac Fisher effect when he's back in the mix as well, because the other day when the Roos were playing, it had Sheezel on one half-back and Colby on the other one. They both absolutely killed it. Now, Zac Fisher was recruited to play that half-back role for them, but after those 2 smoked it so bad, even David King said Fisher coming back cannot stop that happening because of what those 2 offer back there. Fisher's good back there, but he's not those 2.
Yep.
And then my concern is, okay, so does Fish just still play in defence and he's still like a halfback, but he'll be back pocket type. Then you've got Colby, Shees and Fisher, both where their man would be their secondary concern.
Yep.
They can't play 3 attacking guys like that back there. So what happens? I don't know.
Chris, Huey Jr., gents, could we start with both Amon and Martin? Saw Kingy describe Martin's role as the Nick Dacos role.
Yeah.
Kingy, best track watcher this pre-season. But, so I guess the question is, Martin is a play, if you want that. He should pick up defender status. My worry would be if he is a winger pushing back and he doesn't get it, like if the numbers just don't add up for it. But if he is looking like he should get defender status because he's lining up there, that could be a play. But could you go with both? And then this might go to where you guys are starting with your only 2 rookies on field in the midfield. If you were starting with both, I don't think you could have them anywhere other than 5 and 6.
No.
I think you could go 4 and 5, but I feel like, I'd be going 5 and 6 if you were going both.
Yeah.
And now who would you pick out of them if you had to choose between them?
It's Martin for me now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because I think Amon is the one that's more likely to push up and spend time on the wing. I think everything I've read reinforces what you just said then. I think Martin is that Dacos role half back, and I think he's built for it. He's quite expensive, but I think he's going to, in that role, he's averaging over 100.
Yeah, so he's 770-ish, 85 average last year.
Yeah, well, that's 15 under.
Yep. Entering 3rd year breakout,
yeah,
Roy.
I only need Dog to get a bit more excited about this as an Essendon fan, because
I need to see more.
I'm really considering it. He is built for that. Like, he will just dominate in that position.
It just sucks that he's a straight mid.
Yeah, but it makes him more unique for you if you're willing to do it. I'm hot on this. Highly considered.
At the moment, 4% of people are on board.
Yeah, and I've been part of that 4.1% at times.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Right.
A few more questions here before we wrap this up. This is long, boys. Unless we had a nap halfway through while this was recorded.
I don't know if we had a nap or not.
I've zoned out a few
Let's go. Ash has got a keeper league draft. They have to keep some players under 44 games, and he's choosing between Ward and Phillipou. Who would it be for you?
Poor.
Ward. I'm keeping Ward there, I think.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I like the poo.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a very tough one. But I just have a soft spot for Phillipou. I really like a few things he does. Not that I don't like Ward, but I think I'll go Phillipou long term.
Paddy Dow, why does it feel like everyone's gone quiet on him? Got injured, didn't he?
That's the only reason.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I'm cold on Paddy.
I don't think he's going to be a great pick, though, is he?
Yeah, he is. What?
Oliver, is he an option? This is for Thomas.
Okay, now, Oliver, we're not in Classic. Draft only here. Right. Oliver, the fact that he played the other day, he's back up again. He's back up towards the top. There was a time there where we were like, where does he go?
I'm still like that because I don't think he's going to start the season.
So I think he does.
Guess where he is, ADP?
Where?
8.
Yeah, because people are just not overthinking.
And that's fair.
They're backing him
I think he could be higher.
I think he goes higher. He has to go higher than 8.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean higher?
He goes higher than 8. Mate, he will be back. He'll play round 1.
I'm not picking him before 8.
Oh, you've lost your marbles, mate.
Oh, speaking of, I've got I'm in a keeper league and I've got first pick of our redraft.
Oh, whoop-de-doo.
And I'm about to do it.
Oh.
Colby McKercher. We keep 25 players in a 12-team league.
How many leagues are you in, you man?
No wonder. No one is podcast going forever.
Right.
We've drifted off into your league. It's your pick.
This is the league that I actually don't even want to be in.
Oh, that's harsh.
I hope none of them are. They're all a bunch of peanuts, seriously. The commissioner is not right either. So anyway.
No wonder it is so hard through the season to find you ever happy because in one of your 50 leagues, you've at least copped one injury or bad
Start
captain.
getting lost.
All right, it's time to wrap it up.
We are. All right, last couple. Sheezel or Wanganeen Miller?
Sheezel.
Is Finlay Macrae best 22?
We hope so.
He's best 23.
Yeah.
Byron wants to know, is it Fisher or James Jordon? There's a little bit of price between them, though. That's the thing.
I'm Jordon at the moment, but pre-season watching.
I'm Fisher, due to no buy, but Jordan's better value.
Yep.
Here's a job for you. It might be a tweet for you, Roy. Make a Roy's Rolling 22 of Blink-182 songs.
Oh, that's tough.
Jeez.
Gosh, right out there looking at who you'd put the sub, the 22. It's a good challenge.
Yeah, it is.
They've easily fill it with an elite squad.
It would be.
Luke wants to know, is Calvin's captains getting replaced by mixed mid-prices? You go mid prices.
No. Calvin's captains never goes, mate. It's a staple.
It is.
It's a pillar. It's a pillar. It's a pillar.
Is Liam Ryan a forward option if he is good to play? Don't think so.
No, he's not.
Nah, I don't think so.
A lot more questions there, but we probably hopefully covered a lot of them within this super long podcast, one of the longest ever. We all deserve a nap now after a big weekend mosh pitting. I'm tired.
Very.
What we didn't need to do was go and drink those pints afterwards at Scruffy Murphy's.
Oh, but that was elite, wasn't it? Jeez, that was good in there.
Dodgy Irish pub. You would have been right at home, Calvin.
Oh, yes,
I would have seen you in there. You would have been on that dance floor with your hand up in the air.
Waving to everyone.
Captain Morgan and
Oh, mate.
All right, wrap it up. You're dragging this out way too long.
I know, because I was just considering whether telling a story, but I'm not going to.
No.
No, don't tell that story. Thanks for listening. We'll be back with plenty more. Make sure you're following along all of those Match Sim matches. You can watch those on Foxtel and KO. There'll be plenty of tweets and things going on and articles on afl.com.au. Actually, Roy, you're revealing a team this week.
Yes, I am. And
That's exciting.
I've been considering whether to tell the truth or not.
Right. All right, we're done. Thanks, team. See you later.